Chicago is a city of green, a city that safeguards its precious environment. Welcome to Chicago at Play.
From small changes like adding energy-efficient lighting in field houses to erecting LEED-certified buildings, the Chicago Park District is dedicated to implementing environmentally friendly practices in every aspect of their operations.
In this past year, the Chicago Park District has implemented an energy savings performance contracting program, which we've now nicknamed Energy at Play. The goals of the Energy at Play project are to reduce energy usage in the different facilities that we have throughout the Park District.
This capital improvement project will focus on replacing 37 of the worst heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems during the initial phase of this $25 million project.
The program, the Energy at Play, or Performance Contracting Program, is governed by the Illinois Energy Conservation Act, and that requires us to send out a request for proposal for energy service companies, or what we call ESCOs, to come back and submit their qualifications or their proposals. And we were lucky enough to have 3 nationally recognized energy service companies. We have Ameresco, Johnson Controls, and Siemens. And we felt that with all 3 companies being such experts in their field, why not use all of them to our advantage?
Typically when we walk into a Park District building, we see mostly original equipment. And the majority of the cost or the opportunity to upgrade equipment is related to the HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And the boilers, the system that distributes the heat, hot water, domestic hot water systems, the fans, all of those things that are part of the building are what we look at to see how can we improve the equipment, what better energy efficient design can we implement than what was used in the original construction, and how can we control the equipment that we install.
This is really the most responsible approach to taking on a massive portfolio such as the Park District with respect to making these major improvements. It's not a piecemeal or band-aid approach. It's really a long-term strategy. So it's looking at this thing from implementing it now and what is the best possible solution 20 to 30 years down the road. And you're able to leverage all sorts of economies of scale. So the true total cost of ownership is obviously much less in this approach rather than just doing a piecemeal, a little bit by bit by bit. And obviously then the consumer or the park users get to realize those benefits now rather than several years down the road.
A lot of companies talk about being green, but when it gets hard is when it's time to actually be green. And there's a lot of pressures on budgets and where do we find money to make the upgrades required to be as efficient as possible. And then on top of that, there's all these deferred maintenance requirements. And you know, we have all these old equipment, how do we upgrade and how we do that. I think what the Park District has done is you've combined those 2 things into a way that benefits the taxpayers because you're addressing deferred maintenance with energy and green projects. So you're taking care of 2 birds with 1 stone in a way where you're getting savings that help offset and pay for the improvements that need to be made. And you're doing it in a way that guarantees that those savings are available.
A centralized building automation system will allow engineers to remotely access building controls to manage systems, making the Park District efficient, modern building owners.
Capital improvement projects, for the most part, it's a great ribbon cutting ceremony. It's some new paint, it's some new windows, it's a new playground, something physically that Park District patrons can see. And the interesting thing is it's kind of hard to sell, let's get a new boiler. So we're trying to relate that to our park patrons by saying we spent a great amount of money on replacing our energy efficiency systems, and how that's going to benefit you as a park patron is it's going to decrease our utility bills. We're paying less for electricity, we're paying less for gas, so we can spend that money on different park programs or other aspects of the Park District's operations.